Okay, so we had to make a part 3, but that's okay. We're going to continue where I left off, and I'm putting the contour sheet onto the bed after I have actually tucked that under the patient, the old linen, the dirty linen. So you tuck in your corners. And you want to make sure that you're putting it under the linen that you're taking off, okay? But remember, we're not trying to make a mountain for the patient to actually roll over. So the next is going to be what we call our lift sheet, turn sheet, draw sheet. And if you remember, it's only folded once, and it's folded the wide way. I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's folded what I call hamburger, not hot dog. If you do it too narrow, you're not covering enough of the patient's body when you get ready to move them up in the bed. Thereby, if it's too narrow, you're going to actually cause shearing of the skin. And some places will leave this untucked because they're using it all the time. You know, I don't like anything untucked. You're doing the skill for me, so I want you to tuck it in. Your draw sheet is going to go underneath, as flat as you possibly can get it. The patient, underneath, the contour sheet, so that it can all go under the patient. Now we're going to put the underpad on. We don't want the patient to have to roll back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You will wear them out, and if they have any kind of breathing difficulties, you're going to stress their breathing. They're going to get shorter breath. And these draw sheets right here, I mean, these underpads are actually washable. And if you just take and line it with the edge, because they're designed to go across this bed, then you're going to want to be able to tuck this in the draw sheet. Now, this is a lot for the patient to have to roll over. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and tuck this. Keeping it as smooth as I can. And I'll put the top sheet on and the spread once I roll them back over here and I get them back on their back, okay? Side rail up, please don't forget, because when we roll the patient back over, there's not anything here that can roll out of the bed, and that's just a whole nother problem. Okay. Hi there, Miss Jones. I know that you're tired, and I'm going to let you rest just as soon as we're done, okay? I'm going to have to roll you over to the other side of the bed. And there's actually a large mound behind you with all this linen. I'm sorry, but we'll roll carefully. We're going to roll back over to the other side, okay? If they can help you, fine. But you roll careful and try not to use your fingertips to touch them. It is difficult with this mountain. But if they can help you, you want to roll them over or get help, okay? Try to keep their head supported. Roll the patient back over. Oh, you did very well going over that. Are you okay? She's just talking to me and I'm talking to her. Okay. If I can get her supported good. I'm sorry. I'm going to let you rest just as soon as we're done, okay? All right. So now this is all of the soiled linen. I don't see any glasses in here. I don't see any teeth in here. Money, you know, they always tuck their valuables sometimes in a hiding place if need be. And it usually ends up in the sheets. Now this will go into whatever bag that you have facility-wise to put in, okay? Make sure it's close enough you don't want to walk away from the patient though. Okay. Tuck in your bottom sheet, your contour. It ought to start feeling pretty good to the patient as far as smoothing out. And see, this here is the actual draw sheet or lift sheet. Oh, I'm so sorry. You're so flexible. Remember, they've got a clean gown on. I've already tied it. I did that at the end of the bath. Make sure there's not any wrinkles in any of the linen because that can cause breakdown or damage to the skin. I'll tuck in the draw sheet. Okay. Then I'm going to have the patient roll back on their back and try to get them as comfortable as I can. Change that pillowcase in just a few minutes, okay? All right. I'm going to raise the side rail. All of this is tucked on the bottom and all of that is tucked on the bottom. I'm actually going to raise the head of the bed just a little bit so I can take her pillow and change it. Remember, we don't change the pillow like you do at home. You don't stick it under your chin and shake it down into it, right? Everybody has a different technique. What I showed you was just to gather it in the center, all the way down to the end. And I'm in the center, and I just grab the pillow in the center. And I can pull it over the pillow. Then if you need to straighten it out, you can straighten it out. There's my door. You want to make sure that the open end is away from the door. Does that feel better? Okay. Now I'm going to change the top sheet. And if the patient can hold the sheet while you pull this down, then that's great. Remember your seams. We paid attention to our seams with the draw sheet, making sure that the rough edge was away from the patient. That's the rough edge. That's the smooth edge. So if you'll look up here at the top, this is what's going to be next to the patient. This is the rough edge that's up. And if you take your finger and run across it, you can feel it. Because this is what's touching the patient. That is what touches their neck. If they decide to cover their head. Okay. I'm going to ask them to hold that. And I'll pull out the top sheet. Always trying to maintain that privacy and keep the patient covered. And this goes into the dirty linen bag that you have. Now we're just in the process of straightening all of the linen. And a lot of linen is folded as such that you have actually got probably some type of center seam in it that you can identify. You don't want to start making the bed like this, but I usually pull it right around the neck and even it out. I'm going to do one side, then go to the other side. Now I'm going to put the spread on. And remember I told you about the spread. Now this was a little hard to tell But in the long-term care facilities, a lot of them have their own spreads, whether it be paisley, flowers, trucks, ducks, whatever. So you want to make sure that part is what is seen. You don't want the ugly side to be seen. So, oh, but Miss Dean, that means the seam's going to be touching the patient. No, it's not. Not when I make it. And it shouldn't be when you make it either. I'll show you. You don't take the spread and pull it up past that sheet. A lot of people won't have you need to have a lot at the bottom to tuck if that's how it's going to be. So you just pull it up about 4 inches from the actual sheet. See, there's the rough side. But we'll end up cuffing that over that, okay? All right, so now I'm going to tuck in. At the bottom with a mitered corner. So that's looking pretty even. And I showed you earlier, you want to take and hold what you've already tucked. So hold your draw sheet. And tuck in at the foot. To miter, you come down about a foot. I'm holding the actual sheet. It pulls the spread up with it. You tuck in. Looks like the draw sheet's good. There you've got your mitered edge. Okay. I'm going to pull the side rail up and move to the other side. Not to pull the spread up past the sheet. Now we've got to miter, tuck in at the bottom and miter this other corner, holding my draw sheet. Tucking in the spread and the sheet. Come down about a foot. I've been holding the sheet under here. Pick it up, smooth that out, and tuck in. Then you have got a mitered end down here. Oh, and I've made it so tight for their feet. Now their toes are going this way. Look at her flat. That's uncomfortable. So what I need to do now is make a toe pleat. If you pull from the top a little, then you haven't untucked your bed. Okay. Let your side rail up. Cuff. Okay. All right. And then you're going to want to make sure that you let the bed down. My side rails are up ×2. My call bell is in reach. If you need to raise the head of the bed up a little bit, you can do that to make them comfortable. Just tell me when it's higher or high enough. Right there. Okay, you're going to want to take your gloves off, wash your hands, clean up all of your equipment. So let's look at what we have here. All right, we've got the toe pleat. We've changed the pillowcase. We have actually smoothed all the wrinkles out. Makes you want to get in bed, doesn't it? Looks comfortable. And then we document on an activity sheet about the linen change. Linen change is not always done every day. In some places, they have designated days. but they certainly want you to change it if it is sore for any reason. Then you're going to talk with the patient, leave them comfortable, and you are done. Thank you very much.